Morning, guys.
Up next is Ohio State head coach Steve Rohlik. Rohlik enters his first season as head coach of the Buckeyes after serving as the associate head coach for the last 3 seasons. Ohio State returns 19 letter winners from last season's squad. Coach, if you'd like to begin with an opening statement, then we'll open the floor to questions.
Well, first and foremost, it's fun to come back to this building. I've been coming down here since I was 4, so it's nice to kind of come home. Hockey, what Big Ten can mean to hockey in this sport, I think is tremendous. I think it's a great day for hockey, as Bob Johnson would say. From all the kids, across the states here and north of the border. I have my captain here, Curtis Gettig, and he was talking about this, born and raised up in Kelowna, BC, and not knowing really what college hockey was with major, junior, and everything else. And so I do believe that what this Big Ten can do with Big Ten Network and the TV and the informative of these young men, I think it will really help the sport. At Ohio State, when you think of Ohio State athletics, you think of Big Ten. And I think the hockey program there, we're just scratching the surface. So I think it's really going to affect our program maybe more than any other. With that being said, with the city of Columbus and the athletics and the people that look at athletics down there at Ohio State, I think what Big Ten and the brand of Big Ten, what it could mean to our hockey program is tremendous. We're excited. We got a great group of kids back, with our leading scorers with Ryan DeZingle, Tanner Fritz, and Max McCormick back up front. Certainly going to have to lean on them. The biggest question we'll probably have is replacing our All-American goaltender, Brady Jelly. So we got a couple young guys there with Colin Olson from Minnesota here and Matt Tompkins from up in Alberta. So we got a great locker room. We got great people. We got a ton of support from the administration, and I'm really looking forward to the start of this year for sure. So I'd like to open up if you guys have any questions.
We ask you please raise your hand and I'll direct a microphone to your attention.
Steve, Jess Myers with 1500 ESPN. What's the past 6 months been like for you, the transition from going to an assistant coach to a head coach and, having the staff you worked for, now you leading that staff?
Well, it's any transition, any change, there's a lot going on, but it certainly has been a lot easier with the people around me, the staff, the players. The foundation's been laid there, and it's my job just to keep moving forward. So once we got Brett Larson in place, everybody else is there and it's been the same, and all our guys are back. So it really, in that transition point, it really wasn't that difficult. It was just a matter of now me being maybe in a little different chair, but it's now that our guys have been there, it's going a lot smoother and it's fun to be around and the excitement's there. So certainly looking forward to moving forward.
Steve, Andy Baggett with the Wisconsin State Journal. Good to see you. How long has it taken? Maybe it hasn't gone away, the awkwardness. You replaced a good friend who lost his job. Have those waters calmed at all, or are you still kind of making your way through that?
Well, it's, I guess like any change, things happen, and, Ohio State administration made a decision, and, for me, it's about me having the opportunity and taking advantage of it and moving forward, and I think that's what I'm doing right now. I'm looking through the front window and not the rear view mirror, and I got to do the best job I can for this program.
Steve, Ohio State's football program legendarily gets the best players from Ohio and kind of has that advantage of having that talent there. What's it like on the hockey standpoint, not only the battle for the top players in Ohio and Michigan, but kind of having to go outside your region to look for recruits as well?
Well, we're, we want to do the best job we can in state. There's no question on that. And we're dealing with those kids, and I think the youth programs are improving, as you know, with the AAA Blue Jackets and everything else. So I think the amount of players that are going to get to the college level are growing, and certainly we got to continue to do a great job there. But I think the brand of Ohio State, you can go anywhere, and people recognize who we are. I think that's to our advantage, and we're going to go out and cover every stone we can. That's just what I know and how I've done it. And, we're going to do the best job we can. And that means if we got to go to Saskatchewan or Vancouver or Ontario or in Ohio, we're going to try to get the best kids and the kids that want to be at our program.
Steve, Pat Borsley with the New York Times. You mentioned a little earlier that you thought that the Big Ten Network was going, and the Big Ten brand would affect your program more than any other. Is that because of the television network's reach? Because let's face it, nationally, sports fans, even casual sports fans, know about the football team and the basketball team, but they may not know that Ohio State even has a hockey team.
Well, we do have a hockey team down there in Columbus, and I think people are going to realize that. We do have a tradition. We do have All-Americans. We have played in 6 national tournaments. And I think that we're going to go out there and continue to spread that message. And I think that's what this Big Ten Network's going to do is put us on a stage with 5 other big-time universities. And people are going to understand that Ohio State is a tremendous opportunity to go to be a student athlete and play college hockey. And I think that's why I say the Big Ten Network could affect us more than any other.
Steve, Brian Posick from the Badger Sports Network.
Brian, how you doing?
Good. Probably too many names to mention, but who helped mold you as a coach, and do you feel completely prepared for this opportunity?
Well, if I said I was completely prepared for this, if any coach said that, I think they'd be lying. I'm going to fall down and scrape my knees, but I'm going to get back up. That's just my personality. Right in the backyard here, this is where I was molded. From Steve Moose Younghands to Terry Skrypek to Herb Brooks to Jeff Sauer, who's from here. I mean, I've been around some tremendous people. And if I can take a little bit of all that and put it toward my coaching philosophy, I'm going to be in good shape. Mike Kemp, Scott Sandilands. I mean, these guys have given me my opportunity, and I've been around those kinds of people. And like I said, for me moving forward, I look at the legendary coaches that are in this league and the wins and 700 plus, 600 plus, 200 plus. I'm at 0. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to go out there and take from the people that I've learned from and do the best job I can. But prepared, I'm going to continue to work on that every day, and I think every coach will say the same thing.
Steve, Andy
Yep.
Baggett with the State Journal. Take us through the analysis that you had regarding how this league is going to unfold. Is there a big gap between the team that everybody picked to win it versus yourselves versus Penn State? And if so, what is that gap?
You know what? I don't think there's a gap in college hockey, to be honest with you. I think college hockey's the parity in college hockey today more than any other in the past. And I think I say that even in our league. I think Wisconsin, Wisconsin, it's been a long time since they've had a lot of guys return as seniors, and certainly they proved themselves last year. So I think it's a safe bet that they are the favorites in our league, and Minnesota's are right there. But if you're going to tell me that Wisconsin going into Michigan and you're saying Wisconsin should go in there and take care of them 2 games, 2 nights in a row, I think it's awfully tough. So I think between the Ohio States or Penn States or Michigans or Wisconsin, I think it's going to be very competitive.
We have time for 2 more questions.
Steve, Frank Mazzacco, Gopher
Frank.
Radio Sports. You talked about how much the Big Ten Conference means to the city of Columbus, and you've been in the recruiting trenches for quite a while. Did Big Ten mean anything in the last couple of years as you were recruiting kids?
Well, certainly as soon as the announcement was made, there was no question what we were talking about. The opportunity to play in the elite league in college hockey, the opportunity to play with 5 other programs on a big stage. And that message was certainly getting across to the student athletes, to the people and the recruits that we've been talking to. There's no question that as soon as that announcement was made, that's what we were talking about. Because, as you know, we're here today because of it. And I think Canada, U.S., Europe, you're going to see a lot of kids that know from A to Z what this conference is all about, and why wouldn't we as coaches go out there and recruit this conference and spread the word of what the Big Ten is.
Steve,
Steve, Dan Kelly with the Big Ten Network. You've been a part of the conference as an assistant, and you know it. Maybe not just this year, but in years to come. What do you think is going to be the signature of this conference? What type of brand of hockey will we see night in, night out?
Well, I think the brand is going to be a fantastic brand of hockey. I think you're going to see elite players. I think you're going to see teams that are going to be able to, one, racehorse up and down the ice if they want, and also you're going to see teams, if we need to shut a team down and win 2-1, you're going to be able to see that. The coaches are proven of the jobs that they've done with, I think it's 23 national championships within the programs here. I think moving forward here, again, people are going to go in and be excited, and I think that's the biggest message that the fans are going to be able to watch and going to be able to talk about is you got to get down and watch that Big Ten hockey tonight. There's 2 games on Friday night because the entertainment's off the charts. And again, I think you could see that in a variety of different ways of winning 5-1, winning 8-6, or winning 1-0 or 2-1. You're going to see all of that.